Welcome to Behind the Film, where we talk about movies and independent filmmaking through both an objective and a subjective lens, with the hope to give you a bigger appreciation for the art of film. I'm Cory McCabe. I really like this topic of building stronger characters. It's something I'm learning a few things about right now as I'm writing a script. And there's two things that really help with building strong characters. And the first one is a little bit more obvious, and the second one is not quite as obvious. Obviously. The first thing is that you want your main character, and really every character, to have a goal and an obstacle in the way to achieve that goal. So they need to get through and overcome something or someone, whatever it is, to get to that goal that they want. This is called an outer goal. It's called an outer goal because number two, you want every character, especially your main character, to have an inner goal. So this is more on the writer's side of things. It's not something that your characters are aware of necessarily. An outer goal is what they want, and an inner goal is what they need. So they might say like, I want to conquer the world, and that's their outer goal. But their inner goal is that maybe something in their past, they didn't live up to someone's expectations, and they need to hear from somebody else that they look up to that, hey, you're actually doing a good job, and you're perfect the way you are. Maybe that's an inner goal. That's just an example. So this is something that's really helping push my characters and my story to just have a lot more depth to it. And that's something that I've noticed that my stories have not had a lot of. The way I've tended to write is that I just want to have these events happen to these random people that I'm calling characters, where really the entire movie is just about these events. And that's not the right way to go about it. We want to have a strong set of characters in place, or character, maybe there's just one character, and their goal and their obstacle and their inner goal, that thing that they need to happen internally, is what creates a story. And you can have events happen in a story that are eye-catching and that do add production value, but you don't want to focus on those solely. I'm speaking to myself here because I tend to be like, ooh, what if this crazy thing happened to these characters, and the movie's just about making that crazy thing happen? That's just not a very compelling way to craft a story. Maybe you find that you're actually interested in an arts department rather than like creating and crafting a story. I've been working on this side project that's very much a back burner project. It's not extremely active right now. That is made to help you write stories with depth to them. And so this is one of the things that I want to really push writers, is to have this inner goal and outer goal, because I think not only does it give your characters depth, it helps you write the story. So what I do is I write all of these up front for all of the characters. I say, here's what their outer goal is, here's what's in their way to achieving that outer goal, that thing that they want, and their inner goal, whether it's to be loved by somebody or something more internal. I can use that for other characters to fulfill that need for them. Because if I know character A has this internal goal, this something that they really need to unlock something inside themselves, I can have character B be the catalyst to bring that inner need out of them. They can be the point in the story where character A has that internal narrative realized. So it really helps craft the story when I set all of these rules and goals and obstacles up front, and then I can write much more easily because I know where each character is headed and where they need to go. What I would recommend doing is actually writing down, and when I say that, of course, I mean digitally as well, actually writing down a character, what their outer goal is, what they're setting out to do, what's in their way, their obstacle, and what their inner goal is. Their inner goal, you may not know right away, and you may know as you develop more of the outline for your story, or as you write scenes, however you prefer to write your story. But I would encourage you to write that down as soon as you can, just because it's really going to help you with how the other characters will interact with that character. It's almost like, if you were to write a Myers-Briggs or Enneagram for each of your characters, you kind of know like where their struggles are, their weaknesses, their strengths, and how they communicate. And you maybe even write like the 5 love languages for each of them. It sounds a bit ridiculous and maybe even a bit overdone, but it will really help you write your story. And I imagine you're listening to this because you don't always know where to go with your story, or you're just not happy with it. So you're either dealing with writer's block, or you're just not happy with what you're creating. This method really can help with writer's block, and also if you're looking back on your old work and you're just not happy with it, this can help with that too, in terms of improving your story and your character building. Obviously, there's a lot more to building really strong and believable characters and creating more depth for your story, but I just wanted to hit on these two things. And just to recap, really all I've said is you want to give your character an outer goal and an inner goal. And that second one I found is really key because it helps with writing dialogue and do the rest of the script. Hopefully you found this helpful and you got something out of it, and if you did, then you and I have nothing else to talk about, and I hope you go make great things. But if you still have questions around this topic, then I would encourage you just to reach out anytime to Google and look it up yourself.